Yeah. Well, they're Madison Rising really has got it together when it comes to
But
it.
you
They're
know
good.
Yeah.
what? That to me, it's a different rendition, but I don't feel it's disrespectful.
No, it's
I
not.
By no
I
means.
felt like hers was like, "What are you doing?" And that's one of my favorite songs in the world is the national anthem because I feel like it's America's
Mhm.
song. It's like it's your song, your song. It's everybody's
Yep.
song, and it's like, what the flock did you do to it? I thought Pink did a beautiful version at
Yes,
the Super
At the
Bowl.
Super
Whitney
Bowl.
she did.
Houston.
Yep.
I mean, Whitney Houston's, you just like,
Amazing.
it gives me chills.
And can
But
can we just say that this is not the first time people have butchered this song? Okay, we've
you're
had
right.
everybody from Christina Aguilera
Hmm.
torturing people through it, and so Fergie is. It's not that she did any better or worse at being terrible.
Right.
She just happens to be in the limelight this time,
You know,
and
they're all trying to give their own rendition. Here's the thing: you could do the star when you're going to do the Star Spangled Banner. Stop trying to make. I hate to say it like this.
Don't make it your own.
Well, again, Madison Rising made it their own, but they did it in a way that was not insulting.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
was respectful.
Yeah,
Well,
respectful.
She
that's
That's
the
the
walked
word.
away
key.
very proud of
That's the
herself.
word.
That's
Yeah.
the key is respect. Respect
Well,
Well,
the
Marie
flag.
Marie Giano Stewart said her body language was inappropriate. And I'm right there with her. It was inappropriate. It's like stand there and sing the national anthem. It's
I
for
didn't
all of
see
us,
it,
not just
so
you
I heard
having an
about it.
orgasm.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to hell.
look,
I'm
Kevin,
going to hell.
Speaking of
I'm
orgasms,
sorry, Austin, Mesa, Arizona. I'm sorry,
speaking of,
FM
God.
in
I
Kent.
had a very exciting weekend.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you had
Here
an
goes.
yeah,
orgasm? Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
What's his
I
name?
I had a very exciting Jay. His name was Jay. We have to let it out.
Okay.
We had a
Uh-oh.
very exciting weekend. So anyway, those of you that know, last week and the week before, I had to go to the urologist,
Oh,
and
yeah.
from the urologist, he sent me to a place called here on Long Island called Zwanger Pizzeri, which is they
Oh,
do
yeah.
MRIs and all these sonogram tests and
Great.
such like that. And yeah, so anyway, and I had to go get my blood work done and all that other
Right.
nonsense. So I'm waiting on words from that to find out if I have 3 months to live or
Oh,
not.
God
But
forbid
anyway,
you
so
say that.
yeah, so I get to Zwanger Pizzeri, okay, and I walk in.
He went to Dr. Wanger for a prosthetic.
No, so I walk in, right? Well,
That
this
that was too
girl,
late.
Very good, Jay.
this girl comes out. This girl comes out. Okay, this
Yeah.
girl comes out, and I hear my name, Eric, right? And I think to myself, oh, this is not going to work out well here, So anyway, she goes, I following her to the back, and Zwanger Pizzeri, if you've never been there in Smithtown, it's really nice back there. I mean, it's like a nice. I could live there. That's how nice it was, with couches and everything. So anyway, she takes me in the room. Very, very nice. What's the word? I keep forgetting the word. Linda reminded me of the word the other. Not.
Reception?
No, not reception. Like the atmosphere. The
Okay. The ambiance.
ambiance. That's the word. So it has a really nice ambiance. So it makes you feel very uncomfortable. Very comfortable. Excuse me. So she walks in, and now I realize she's the one that's going to do the test. Well, the test is for my testicles. Okay,
Did you like
I have
that?
to have a
Did you
son.
have a good time? Hi.
Did
I
you
have
have
to
a
have
happy
I have to
ending?
have a sonogram of my balls. All right. So anyway, so for you guys out there, Mildred, get in here. He's talking about his testicles. Oh my God! Call the queen. He's talking about his testicles.
Stop.
North Carolina going, Andy, get Barney. Anyway, all
Oh,
right. So
God.
anyway, so I walk in. So this woman, she says to me, she says, she basically tells me to strip from the waist down, and she'll be right back in. So I said to her, this is what started the whole conversation off. I said, you'll have to forgive me. I feel a little uncomfortable. I'm used to dealing with Koreans. Right. So she starts laughing at that point. She walks out. And now I'm laying there on this table, naked from the waist down, and I got this paper drape towel that's covering my, from the bottom up. And I'm like, I'm hearing. Somebody's got a phone
Yeah,
on.
Lisa, is your
Mi-
phone up?
Somebody's
Mine's
got a phone
off.
on.
No.
No,
Mine's
somebody's definitely got a phone on.
Mine's off.
No phone.
Hmm.
Off.
No, mine's
I don't
off.
know.
Turn mine
I don't
off.
know why. Anyway, all right. So I'm laying there, right? And you can't, if you're a guy and you're going to have a sonogram of your testicle area.
Do you know they use a little parts one?
Well, here's the thing. You're sitting there and you're going, why can't it be some ugly old guy? I mean, I'm not trying to insult the girl that did the test because everybody's beautiful in their own way. But I was laying on the table and I'm thinking to myself, I am just glad it's not like Baywatch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what if I get aroused? You know, I mean, this is going to be a little bit embarrassing here. I mean, if somebody's, if you're a guy and somebody's touching you in certain, you know, down
Right,
there, no matter
of
how.
course.
Well, anyway, she walks in,
You know.
right? She walks in and she says to me basically that she needs me to hold it so that, you know, the only thing she's seeing is the lower part of it.
What are you
Well,
holding?
you know, this is like, you know, picture what I was holding. You know, so I told her, I said, well, you're going to have to step back a second because this is something I'm really proud of when you pull the drape down, right? So anyway, she's laughing again. She's laughing again. So I'm thinking to myself, how can I get this girl in trouble? I figure, you know, we're in the. She turns the lights down.
Oh,
The
now
girl
you're
in the.
really
She
in
turns the
trouble.
lights down. Right?
Bow,
No,
bow.
she turns the lights down. So I look at her. I go, "What's next, Barry White?" You know. So she's laughing again, right? So
Oh,
anyway, so there I lay on the table with. You know, I can't. How else do you say this? You know, I can say. I'm not going to say it, but anyway, I'm holding on to my. I'm holding on to my junk, right? And my little friends there are exposed, right? Well, all of a sudden
little
now,
friends.
all of you know, they have to use this. Women that have experienced sonograms, they know you have to use this stuff that they put on it, to,
Right.
you know,
The
like
gel.
it's like a gel type
Holds
thing.
The gel.
Well, yeah. So doesn't even. She just goes and squirts this thing right to the truth. And you hear the coming across, right? And it like flies across the room. I guess she was afraid to come too close to me, you know.
Oh, yeah, it
But
was-
she squirts this stuff when it hits my. What do I can I say
Stuff.
nuts? I'm sorry.
Your
When
stuff.
she hits my stuff, right? The shit starts. Oh, I said a bad word. I'm sorry. The quarter in the jar. This stuff starts. It burns. It burned.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Now my
Like you were
stuff.
allergic to
Now
it?
my stuff is. Let me tell you something. Those little. If they could detach themselves from my body, they would have been running down the hallway. Yeah. Right. I'm telling you, it was hurting. And I'm thinking to myself, now now I'm very vulnerable because now I'm naked from the waist down, holding my one thing in my hand, in my left hand. She tells me if I want to, she says to me, she says, if you want to relax, you can put your hand down at your side. I said, if I put my hand down at my side, something's going to come between us, right? So she says, right. So anyway, now the stuff starts to get cold.
Look at
Right now, so now I'm realizing so now I'm like, what are they trying?
Ugh.
What are they doing? They trying to take a frozen specimen here? They're freezing out my nuts, right? So right. So she says, so now, right now I'm
God, help
concerned.
me.
Now I'm concerned because now she has to take the thing that they do the picture thing with, and she's got to apply that to my junk, to my lower area there, and you know to
The
get
unit.
whatever she's got. So now I'm afraid, you know, no guy likes to have, you know. I mean, if you're gonna fondle them, that's one thing. But if you're gonna put a camera up against them and push, you know, I'm saying, you know, this is not gonna be a happy experience here.
Do you know what your wife says?
What did my wife say?
Ah.
What did she say?
Says you're a baby.
A baby.
LOL.
So anyway, so she's like, right. So anyway, now she's
Hysterical.
got the thing. She's got the thing that she's doing the sonogram thing, right? Right. And I'm trying to lay there, and I'm trying to be, but you know me, I have to be a smart ass, you know.
course.
So I look at her and I was like, you know, I
Dying.
really, I said, she knows what I do. She knows what I do for a living, and so she's asking me about it. I said, you know, what would be really funny? And she goes, what? I said, if all of a sudden I start like banging on the walls and screaming, yes, 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 yeah. She goes, you'll get me in a lot. Oh, she goes, don't do that. You'll get me in trouble. You'll get me in trouble. You know. I said, well, you know what? I said, when I'm done, I swear to God, I wish I would have known what to expect, because if I would have known what to expect, I swear to God.
Well, you knew what you were going for.
Yeah,
What
but
did
I
you think
didn't.
it was going to
I
happen?
figured it would be like an old guy
very
named
good.
Barney, you know, with his pants, you know, that would be, you know, I didn't expect that it would be a female that was going to be, you know,
It
doing
was just you and her.
yeah, I could have been
There's
abused.
no witnesses.
Oh,
No
I'm sure
witnesses
oh my
whatsoever.
God.
Right?
Sure
So
it is.
I will, you know, so I swear to God, if I would have known, I would have brought a bathrobe and a cigarette. And I swear to God, when I was done, I would have walked out. I would have walked out with a cigarette. I would have walked out with a bathrobe, like with a pipe, like Hef. I would have been like Hugh Hefner,
Not
right?
for nothing. No wand went inside of anything.
Right.
You're golden.
Well, that's the thing. Somebody told me that.
Very
Somebody
good.
told me with you women that you have to like insert it yourself or something like that, or I don't know what it is. But anyway, so
What?
she says to me, what did she say then? She says, oh, I said to her, as she's doing the test, I'm looking at her, you know, and I don't know why. Maybe because I was nervous with a female doing this to me, but I couldn't keep quiet. So I'm like, listen, do me a
Yeah,
favor. She goes,
can
I
see.
said, listen.
It burned. It's only the gel.
I said, listen.
Yeah.
I said, do me a favor. She says, what? I said, I really don't want to know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh,
you know.
God,
So she
that's
starts
so cool.
laughing again, right? But she was very gentle, you know, very kind.
Lisa,
You know.
I
She-
have a question for Lisa. Could you
Yeah.
imagine if you had to go for a mammogram?
Oh, forget it.
Oh,
God.
squeeze those
Oh,
boobies.
no,
Did
no,
you?
no.
She says,
Imagine.
Man boobies.
you know what?
That
You know what
you-
really?
Men
You know what?
have to go for mammograms?
I got to tell you
Well,
that.
men
I got.
do get breast cancer.
I got to
so
tell.
I guess
They do. Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, the last part of the story was when it was finally over, right? When it was finally over. Now she goes, and this is exactly the word she used. She goes, all right. She goes, I'm gonna get you a towel. So I was like, am I supposed to tip her? I don't have $20, you know. So anyway,
You wanted to
look at
tip her?
Jay, like,
Oh,
well,
God.
don't you, in a, you know,
Yeah, but it was a different
That
thing.
would have been considered
Eric,
sexual harassment.
Well, anyway,
in
so
some
she
way,
says,
shape, or
so I
form.
sit now.
Should've
Now
gone with
she
me.
hands me the towels, right? And she walks out of the room. So now I'm sitting there. I sit up, you know, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting on the edge of this medical table thing, you know, naked from the waist down with goop on my balls, and it's like I'm like, I think I've been violated. You know, I'm not sure. And she's probably out there. You know,
Face is losing it.
I'm really hoping. I'm like, what if she took pictures? What if she took pictures? What if she took pictures of me?
Man,
You know?
you are
did.
the
I could be
biggest
all over the internet,
baby.
you know?
That's
Good
right.
Lord.
Well, and then before that, listen, I had a very rough week. I had to meet Dr. Applebaum. We hardly even knew each other. I never even got dinner, and I usually don't let someone stick their finger up my butt unless I know them. Okay? Right? So he goes, I'm going to have to examine you. This is what he says. You know, well, actually, we're talking. We actually had a very nice conversation because he also asked me questions about the station, and he listened to the morning show at one point because the
By
girl
the
that
way,
I made.
Danielle says he wouldn't survive a mammogram if he was uncomfortable with a sonogram.
I wouldn't have to worry about a mammogram. You guys got those big, like, what do they call them? Breasts, you know, and like they squeeze them
call 'em?
between everything.
They're the
I don't have.
Again,
It
nothing
hurts.
went inside of a hole,
Right,
and
yeah.
you didn't push anything out.
Right.
You're
Wait a second.
golden.
You didn't hear what I just said? Dr. Eppelbaum. Something, trust me, something went inside of a hole, Lisa, all right? And it was a very uncomfortable feeling, all right?
So did you
All
have
right?
a happy ending?
You know, I was just, you know, what bothered me the most, what bothered me the most,
Janet just said happy ending.
what
I
bothered
did.
what bothered me the most was I didn't mind the fact that he was
Talking
checking. I didn't mind the fact that he was checking for my prostate, but why did he have to hug me and tell me he loved me at the same time? The chat's joking underwater.
my
No, I'm
God.
kidding. He's a very professional.
Oh,
He was actually very professional.
I needed that laugh today. I certainly did.
You know, it was like I remember when I went to the proctologist years ago, and the guy used something called a sigmoidoscope, and you're on all fours up on this medical table, and you're all of a sudden he opens the Chinese guy. He opens the drawer next to me, and he comes out with this thing, and it looked like a shotgun. So I was like, what are you gonna do with that? And the doctor, listen.
Does he laugh?
Yeah, he laughed. He go, I was like, he's laughing, and you know what? I'm like, you're gonna do what with that? I said, this is not. I said, Doc. I said, let me tell you something. This is not natural. Okay, this is not a steel piece of metal going. You know,
We
it's like.
know.
So anyway, yeah.
boy.
So it was a very
Try having a
traumatizing.
child.
Just so we know, this is probably the first time in UK history that a sonogram is going to be mentioned on air for a male and having the words "goop on my balls."
All right. All
I'm
right.
glad you're doing the notes for today's show,
Well,
Jason.
well, I'm hoping.
Oh, yes.
I'm truly
At least
hoping.
we'll be able to type
Those
words.
nasty Americans.
But I'm telling you. So if anybody, I didn't even get her number when we were done.
Come
You know,
on.
but
We
no.
know where she works.
Probably ran
Well,
out of the
she's a
room.
doctor. Her number's probably.
And I
not
was a
on-
very, you know what really bothered me the most is she never called me.
Oh,
You know,
that
at
would
least if
hurt.
you're going to do this to me, at least call me when we're
Yeah,
done.
that
You know
would
what I'm
hurt,
saying?
yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So it was a very traumatizing week. I've been violated.
Oh, we
you
could
know?
tell.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you
you
that
lived.
when she shot, I wasn't ready for that. When she shot that
As,
stuff.
as I would tell my children, "Aw, look at you! You live to talk about
Yeah.
it." Aw.
She shot that stuff
By
across
the
the room.
way, that is the title of today's episode. Goop on the balls.
All right. So I'm sorry if everybody.
I have some really great news for everybody. Everybody listening.
Yeah,
on
listen
iTunes
to
and
this now. This is
iHeartRadio,
great news.
Podbean,
Great
iTunes,
news.
Mixler,
Great news.
Spreaker, Facebook Live, TuneIn Radio. Of course, Kent. iJuice FM 92.1 in Kent, UK, as well as Great Cloud Radio in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Good Talk Radio in Mesa, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite morning radio show is now on Spotify.
Awesome.
Yay.
Go to your Spotify, search Cop and Crew, and as soon as the episode is updated through Podbean and Podsnack and everything else, you will see it there in your Spotify account.
Speaking of Cop and Crew,
Uh-oh. Are we in
being
trouble?
that we have no.
Oh,
Being,
okay.
I'm totally switching gears because I found
Okay.
an interesting thing.
Mhm.
Being that we have a mascot, which is Dags the Bulldog,
Yes.
I have
Roof.
some interesting facts about bulldogs.
Really?
Oh.
There we go.
I
Okay.
find them very interesting,
All right.
and
Does he
I'm sharing.
Does he get goop on
Ready?
his balls? Just want to.
Bulldogs are the
Does he
sixth.
have poop on his balls?
He doesn't have goop on his balls.
No.
No, only Eric has goop on the balls.
Right. Stuff, you can't get that stuff off. It's like, it's like
You're so unique.
if I would have rolled over, I would have got stuck to the table.
I need
I
vodka.
call the fire department.
She needs vodka.
Hello. Hi, we have
It's
a
8:33 in the morning.
we have a
Where's the
57
Tito's?
we have a 57-year-old male with goop on his balls stuck to a medical table.
You know,
Rampart.
I might just do that. Maybe I'll make a mimosa and I'll
Rampart
have
General, we have a
mimosa
57-year-old
tomorrow
male with goop on his
That would
balls
be
stuck to a medical
nice.
table.
Is
Start an
Eric
IV
still
drip
talking?
and
He's still
what?
talking, but we're ignoring him.
Are we ignoring him? I'm just checking. Okay,
Go ahead.
We can phase him out.
And from now on, anytime you hear this, I want you to think of me. Every time you hear
Think about the goop.
That's
every time you're in your
yummy.
kitchen and you spray a spray bottle and you hear, I want you to stop and think about it.
Stop, stop,
Eh,
stop. Ew,
What?
ew,
Right.
ew.
Okay, back to my bulldog story.
You know, it's bad enough.
Oh.
Guys got hair down there, and then they put this goop stuff on, and it's like, oh, it's,
Stop.
what?
shave you?
How do you get
God,
shave me?
Smack you.
Hey, what? Were they gonna what?
God.
Shave me?
Eric.
Shave you.
You honestly think I'm gonna let a technician near me with a razor near my nuts?
Give him a Brazilian.
You
Maybe
must be
Linda would
nuts.
have done it. Linda would have loved to have done that for you.
God,
You would have what? They would. Yeah, I know. She would have loved to have done it to me.
Wait a minute, why
Jeez,
signing-
do something.
I'm
why are
gonna
you signing
listen.
Linda up for this crap?
If I'm gonna, you know what? If I'm
Because
gonna.
I'm sure she would love to go to him with a razor.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
Very good.
Oh,
Very
God,
good.
you know what I'm
Just
reading?
saying.
Just-
It's just a thought.
see my-
It's
see-
a gut feeling I have.
See me last night on the video for the telemarketer when he goes, "Can you hold on for?" He goes, "Can you hold it for a second? Do you see? Watch the video. You see what I did. Anyway,
I
Lisa.
did. I was dying.
Audio.
All right.
Where was
Yeah,
I? I didn't see this.
You didn't see you didn't hear this?
No.
Oh, it's a long.
Well,
it's,
really
What you're
funny.
talking
we'll
about
play it
but
later because it's
when-
long. It's long.
Nobody clues me in on anything.
It was kind of a
Nobody
sp- it
tells
was
me
a- it
when
was a
you're
s-
live.
it was a
You
s-
guys don't tell
I
me
I
wasn't-
didn't hear it
anything.
either, so don't feel bad.
It wasn't live. But she
But I probably
videotaped
have
it.
my
It was a
phone.
spur. It was a guy that called
That's
up, and
the
it was
whatever.
it was the guy
Yeah.
from Microsoft. He calls up and he says he's from Microsoft, and he tells
Yes.
me that my computer is sending him error messages.
Right.
Long story. You got to listen to it. All right, Lisa, tell me the
Terrible.
facts about bulldogs. All right.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
bulldogs
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
God.
ahead.
Oh, I
Go ahead.
bet.
Go ahead.
are the sixth most popular breed in America, and French bulldogs are ranked 18th. In Los
Wow.
Angeles, though, bulldogs are number one.
Wow.
I love
They're
bulldog.
cute.
I had a
Warren G.
I love them.
Harding. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
president.
Yes.
President.
Yes. He had a bulldog.
Wow.
Did he have goop on the balls?
He didn't have goop on the balls. No.
When you walk into the White House, you're. Man.
Who watches Modern Family?
Oh, God. I do sometimes.
I have never watched. I have
I
never.
like that. That
Serious.
was cute.
I have never
Watch
watched.
it once in a
I have
while.
never watched Modern
know,
Family.
No.
They have a bulldog on their show called Stella,
They're very funny.
and she was the
Stella.
first bulldog to win a
Oh.
Golden Collar Award. She beat out other dog performers such as Chelsea Lately, Hot in Cleveland, Entourage, and
Wow.
Suburgatory. Is that a show?
We don't know. You're reading it.
Yes.
That's a TV show.
Yeah,
don't know.
it's with Ted Danson, Kristen Bell, and it's supposed to be very good. I haven't seen it though, but it's supposed
Really?
to be very funny. Yeah, it's gotten very good reviews. Just saying.
And she also beat out a human, Jason Gann,
Yeah.
the star of Wilfred. I don't know these shows.
Okay.
No,
I don't
I
either.
don't
You
either.
don't watch a lot of television.
Bulldogs are the most popular mascots for universities and sports teams.
Aw.
Uga, the mascot for the University of
Ooga.
Georgia team, is one of them.
Ooga.
Uga.
Ooga.
I didn't know that was her name.
Ooga.
I
Bull-
can't stop.
Ooga.
this or-
Oh, go ahead. No, continue. Sing.
No, I'm done.
That was good. You sounded really good.
What did she do?
You should call Fergie.
What'd she do? What did she do?
I could
Yeah,
sing
she
better
did.
than that.
Let me hear you
I'm
sing.
saying.
Let me hear you sing Happy Birthday.
No.
Yeah, sing it.
Come on, son. Let me hear you sing.
Do it.
Come on.
Did you hear what Lisa
Can't do
said?
What did
All of a
Lisa?
sudden, I'm very shy.
Why are you
Lisa,
shy?
you sound so
You can't be
good, you
shy
should
on this
call
show.
Fergie needs a little help. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
She
Wow.
needed a lot of help, sister. She needed a lot.
Bulldogs were the originally bred in England dating back to the 16th century. Did you know that?
Yeah, bulldogs and pit bulls. They used to be. They're called nanny dogs because they
Oh,
used to
really?
protect the royal
No.
family. Yes, they did.
That's what they were called?
A nanny, like a nanny, yeah. Because they used to protect. They were bred. Basically, pit bulls were bred to protect the royal family children.
I love pit
Stop
bulls.
those shenanigans.
No, I'm being serious. They actually, I have.
love it.
And speaking, I got Diesel at home, and I got Casey and Heat and Diesel walking around the house,
Oh,
and we got to
Jesus.
keep them separated. There's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
worse than watching a dog walk around crying all day long because he can't
yeah.
get his rocks off.
Yeah.
I know. How is
It's,
Linda doing since you started crying?
But yeah, yeah.
They're not fixed.
What?
He missed it and went.
Oh, no,
whoop,
I heard him.
right over his head.
I heard him, scumbag.
Oh.
No, I heard him. I did hear him.
This one's very interesting. Bulldogs have suffered the most airline deaths of any breed due to their
Oh.
respiratory issues.
Oh,
They
that's a
often
shame.
suffer from hip dysplasia
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
other medical concerns.
Oh.
80% of bulldogs are delivered by cesarean section.
Really? How do you have a
With such
cesarean section?
large
I thought.
heads.
What do you?
Same way as your human.
Linda, get the knife. You know, oh, come on. You know how many?
Yeah, because their heads are too big.
Yeah, that's true. It's always better for a
That's
little
true.
head.
Many celebrities own bulldogs, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Reese Witherspoon,
Yeah.
David Beckham,
Yeah.
Ashley Olsen,
hmm
Hugh Jackman.
My cousin had a bulldog. His name was
Jack.
Huge Jack. Man, what?
My-
of that one
My cousin had a bulldog. His name was Zardonigus.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Zac Efron and Martha Stewart. Oh, Martha Stewart has a bulldog.
Yeah.
Who
I like
knew?
German shepherds myself.
What do
just
you like?
saying.
They're good
Yeah.
dogs too.
German Shepherd.
I like all
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, I do.
cats.
Yes, I
I
have.
hate cats.
Leave my babies alone.
You mean old thing.
I hate
Oh, that's
cats.
terrible.
No,
That's
my daughter
shameful.
Tierney had
Our
cats.
son-
I have 5, and then one wouldn't go with my son. So it's
Well,
a little
doesn't Dakota
tiny
have a
thing.
funky
So I got
animal?
6
What does she
now.
have? She showed me
Dakota
the
has a
barbecue.
Dakota has a
brother.
she has a bearded dragon. She has let's see.
What did you say, Jace?
She has a lot of animals.
That
Yeah.
was funny.
I didn't say it.
What was
Helen
really funny
said,
was
does Dakota have a weird animal? She goes, Helen said, I know Dakota showed me at the barbecue. A brother?
mm.
Wow.
Eric's still on the goop thing.
No, I heard it. I heard it. It just wasn't funny at all.
She's got one of those little, what do they call them?
Are
Really
you saying
old.
I'm not funny?
Not you,
Are
the
you
other
serious?
guy. What's his name? Yeah,
It's better.
ice cream
What?
boy.
What,
buddy.
what was that
Ice cream
little
guy.
animal
I-
she had? She keeps it
A
in a
what?
little sack.
It's an elephant.
What did you say about the sack?
Yeah, you took it.
I said she keeps her little.
What the hell? Are we waking up from Monday?
No, she
What's
said something
going
about
on
it.
with you people
Something about it.
today?
She
Hey,
did drive in with Eric today.
hey,
I don't
Zwanger
know.
Pizzeri, where you get goop on your balls? Eh.
Stop.
No,
It burned. I'm
the-
telling you, the goop really burned. She shot that stuff.
Dakota.
It hit stuff hit
So
my
don't
nutsack, and it was like my balls were on fire. I was like,
I don't want to hear about your balls
I'm
anymore.
telling.
Oh,
All right.
God.
All right. All right.
Stop it.
I'll stop. All right. Are we all sharing? Are you? Everybody sharing on Facebook Live here?
Oh, I certainly am
Yeah.
with no computer.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm not banned from sharing. I'm not in Facebook jail.
Oh,
At the moment.
don't say anything.
I don't know
Don't
how
let
you
them
guys
know.
get in Facebook jail. I haven't been in Facebook jail. Now that I've jinxed myself, I'll
Well,
probably
don't
end up
say
in
it.
Facebook
Yeah.
Now
jail.
that you said that, right?
Yeah, I
Because
know.
clearly sharing is not caring in the Facebook world.
I
Apparently
share
not.
everything, but I
Wait,
don't know. I guess I
um,
do it in a different way. I don't know.
Anyway,
Uh,
what?
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, time was running out before I got started on this story, but it said Facebook is going to start verifying ads with postcards after the Russian meddling, and Facebook will send
Oh.
postcards to potential buyers of political ads to confirm that that they reside in the United States. Well,
Good
what's
idea.
to stop somebody to get a fake post office
That's
box or
true.
something like that? So it's not really making sense to me.
The bottom line
Jason,
is, if a
did you see
criminal
the
wants
story?
to do something, if somebody wants to do something that's breaking the law or that's not
gonna do
right, they're going to do it
Yeah.
regardless of whether you have a law or what you. They're going to try to find a way around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you're absolutely right. If they can, they're going to find a way around it. They are
But
going
it's
to. find
scary
it,
when you look at the big picture. It's
Yep.
really scary.
It is. It truly
Well,
is.
when
Yeah.
you look at the big picture for anything, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
saw somebody told me, but somebody told me that even when the TVs are off, your smart TVs can watch you and hear what you're saying.
Really?
I mean,
They can
yeah.
what? Oh, I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm going to be
You
You have a
Cowboy
lot
Bob
of
again.
explaining to do, Eric.
a lot of explaining there, Lucy.
Well, Big Brother,
But
you know, they can zoom right in, go right over your house, and zoom in exactly. You know.
I got-
Jay,
I gotta
Jay
be
was
honest with
really.
you.
You
I don't
guys are
believe
really
it.
into that
Oh,
show.
hang on, everybody's talking over
I'm sorry. I'm
everybody.
sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
have my
Jace.
headphones off. I'm
I
sorry.
don't believe any of that. I really don't. I mean, do you really? Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
My computer right now, the one that's showing me on camera, the one I'm looking at you guys on, it has an indicator light. It has a relay light, so that when the camera is on, there's a light that shows that the camera's on.
Oh.
So I don't know how many other devices have this kind of relay light. I know both of my computers have it.
Mhm.
hmm
The computer that I have has some kind of indication to say your camera is on. So if I launch OTS, my camera automatically activates. If I launch Stream, my camera automatically activates because that's what I'm going to be broadcasting on. But
Mhm.
everybody's saying, oh, they're going to be listening on your computer, and they're going to be doing this, and they're going to be doing that. Really, if you don't have anything to worry about,
Right.
I don't.
then
I lead a boring life.
you live it. And let's be honest, 90% of the time, my computers are shut down, turned off, plugged in, charging, okay? But there's no power going to them.
What about smart TVs, though? They
I'm not
said
worried
it.
about smart TVs. I have a TV. I have a Roku TV. I have 32-inch flat screen TVs, and they got speakers. You can listen. Do you really think that if somebody was going to be spying on you, they would give you the idea that they were spying on you?
But they can do it. They really can.
Why do
No,
they
I
want to
don't think
spy
so.
on any of us? We're not that important.
Right,
well,
but the question
who
is this
knows?
though: is that if they're going to put a microphone in your TV to listen to you,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
you really think that they're going to say there's a microphone in your TV? No, they're going to let you worry about carrying around your phone all day. If you're that concerned about security and you're that concerned about being heard and being listened to,
Live in a bubble.
live in a bubble. Put your phone outside in a Ziploc bag in the mailbox until you need to
Till
charge
the
it.
mailman comes by, or the ice cream guy.
You shut up.
You told Janet Russell to shut up?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
He misses me.
Well, what about when Alexa or something like that? Alexa can
Yeah.
listen in, or I've heard that the Google
Sure.
thingy can listen in, whatever that Google thing is.
Well, you-
Alexa's a hoochie mama.
She's a
You also
tramp.
say keywords. Alexa, you cue her up.
Yeah.
Does it have to listen to hear you? Yes. but imagine-
She speaks when spoken to.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. I don't know these things, but I'll tell you now on my phone because now it knows where I am all the time. If I'm someplace out on the island, it goes
That's a
your
setting.
location. I said,
I
well, I
have
didn't ask you
one
to
more
do
thing.
that.
I have one more thing I
Yeah.
just want to say.
Sure.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you
Yep.
did.
It's a setting. She could shut that
Yep.
off. It's
Stop. Okay. Listen to this. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, if you want to, and excuse me for using this word, I know it's not what you're doing, but if you want to complain about your phone following you,
Mhm.
knowing where you are, knowing what you're saying, you have indicated this and approved this
Right.
through the apps that you use.
Exactly.
You want
Okay.
to use the setting called Hey Siri? No, you shut up. Shut up.
See?
My phone went off because I said those words. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to use that setting, you
Mhm.
turn the microphone on.
Mhm.
If you want to use the Alexa, you have that in your home. You chose to use it knowing that that is
Right.
there in your home. If you want to use Facebook, have you ever not noticed that when you make a post that says Helen Snigliaro from wherever?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you set that up, not because Facebook is watching you, but because you allowed location access.
Yep.
Okay. You have a very good point. You have a
That's
very
also-
good point.
That's also
Yeah.
how they give you localized ads.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if you're in some small podunk town with
Mhm.
with one brewery and a laundromat, they're going to
Mhm.
put that on your
They do.
Facebook feed to say, "Hey, this
See,
this is advertising in your area.
Mhm.
You happen to be in that area because you put on your phone that you want to be located."
okay. And I'm going to bring up something very important.
Yes.
The other hand,
Mhm.
when you're driving down a road that the church, the gas station, the school, and everybody who lives in that town are one, you want your location services to be on because if you do go missing, they will be able
Very
to find
true.
you.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a good point too.
And not
That's
only
a very
that,
good point.
well, what I also find very stupid is Facebook can find me, but Google Maps can't.
Hmm.
Recalculating. No, shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not.
And
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. I mean, I passed a place yesterday on the way back here that said fried gizzards and lizards. Come on in.
Ugh.
Like, the town was
on.
like,
Really?
Helen, I kid you not.
Yeah.
The houses were like on 80 lands of whatever with like, the church, the gas station, the school were one building.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Small
And
little town.
also, God forbid, in the event that you go missing
Right.
Mhm.
or something happens to you and or your phone, your iPhone has a
Mhm.
program built into it called Find My iPhone.
Mhm.
And at a critical state, so let's say 10% of your battery, or if you put it into low power mode, your location is being sent to Apple. In the event
Right.
that you go missing, police can subpoena Apple for your last known
Mhm.
location of your phone.
Subpoena. Didn't now wasn't there something last year where somebody wanted to get into Apple's information about subpoenaing somebody. I don't remember what it was
believe this
exactly. Do you remember?
This is in regard to the Orlando shooter
Mm-hmm.
nightclub.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. I'm
Apple
trying to remember.
wanted to subpoena Apple for his data and text
Mm-hmm.
messages like that.
Okay.
They can find
what
out
about
anything
yours?
about you.
Oh, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Danielle in chat says if you're that concerned about being listened to, maybe you should consider your actions.
Amen.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at
Very
all.
true.
I just, I just feel that everywhere you go, your privacy is being taken away more and more. But like Jay said, before you go any further, like Jay said, you have it in your app. So
We're
what
allowing
you've
it,
agreed to
so,
and what you haven't agreed to. So I think that's a very interesting point as well. But isn't it in your, doesn't the GPS in your car lets people know where you are at all
Sure.
times, right? Right.
It's
Right?
a safety
in
thing
the
too.
grand
at
scheme of
times.
things, if you have a TomTom, excuse me.
What happened?
Okay, if I'm just saying, if you have something like that in your car, don't you have something like that in your car, Lisa? Like the GPS, the automatic.
Yeah,
thing that tells where
trust me,
you're
Big
going?
Brother knows where you
Oh,
are.
God, do they
They
ever.
do. Big Brother knows
Yeah.
And I
where you
think
know.
in Zillow, I think that's where that you could actually put your address in, and it will actually take a picture of your house.
Well,
think
you
it's
can do that
Zillow.
on Google World too.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
yeah, I
thought,
didn't know that.
and
yeah.
I do
Yeah,
that
but
from
that's
time
not-
to time.
But that's not, those two things wouldn't be able to find you if you went missing.
No. But that's like if you're
That's
looking
true.
to see what a house looks like, or a location or something. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Scary
I don't
stuff.
mind. I don't mind those services being on. Especially I travel between here and New York and then back.
It's safe.
So God forbid something was to happen. I know, if Danny doesn't hear from me for a while,
God.
he's going to figure
Well,
out where I
think for
am.
you, that's a major necessity because you travel a lot. So I think that's really important.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Did he say something fresh? I saw you look over and I'm like,
my
"Ah, shut up."
kids,
Said or maybe not.
my kids have property in Maine, and they Zillowed it, and they found out that somebody's got a house on part of the property, and somebody else
Mm-hmm.
has a trailer, and this is their property that no one should be on. So, it's weird to find out a lot.
They were probably frying up some lizards and gizzards.
They may, or they might have
never
been
know.
cooking up a bear.
All right, listen, it is 8:50 in the a.m. here, Eastern Standard Time, February 20th, 2018. We're Cop and Crew. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
To tell you about our Mushroom Swiss Grill Burger at Dairy Queen, we've taken an actual conversation overheard at a DQ restaurant between two brothers and, purely for your entertainment, made it sound like a badly acted kung fu movie.
Hey, Stevie, can I have a bite of your mushroom Swiss grill burger? No, please. No, pretty please. No, pretty please. No. Mom, Billy took my burger. No, it's my grill burger.
The DQ Mushroom Swiss Grill Burger, featuring real Swiss cheese, mouth-watering mushrooms, and mild garlic mayo. One of 6 from the new Grill Burger menu. Do one today and DQ something different at participating DQ restaurants.
Survivors protest loose gun laws. The Russia probe now moves to money. I'm Evan Haney. Many student survivors of last week's mass high school shooting in Parkland, Florida, will converge on the state capitol this afternoon to lean on lawmakers and press for sweeping gun control reform. In Parkland itself, correspondent Rosa Flores reports there are more victims to bury.
3 more funerals and 2 visitations are scheduled for today for the victims of this senseless act of violence. Meanwhile, in the school district planning its reopening in phases.
Donald Trump Jr. met this morning with developers building apartment complexes in 4 cities in India.
Buyers are being promised a conversation and dinner with the president's oldest son. To avoid ethical conflicts, President Trump has promised to avoid new foreign business deals while in office, and most of what Trump Jr. is promoting were started before his father was elected. But ethics experts say it's tricky territory. They note the distinction between old and new projects can be hazy, as new deals can often be shoehorned into old ones.
Correspondent Scott Carr. And as correspondent Abby Phillip reports, special counsel Robert Mueller's team wants to know how presidential son-in-law Jared Kushner financed his company using foreign investors during the presidential transition.
This new interest indicates that the special counsel is veering beyond Kushner's potential interest in meetings with Russian investors during that time time and perhaps veering into President Trump's red line.
At the Pyeongchang Winter Games, an American brother-sister team has won bronze and made Olympic history.
Winding up in third at the Gangneung Ice Arena was an emotional experience for Team USA's Maya and Alex Shibutani.
There have been a lot of people that have told us siblings shouldn't be a team, but we believed in ourselves and we accomplished this together.
We've always believed in ourselves.
Steve Kastenbaum in Pyeongchang, South Korea.
I'm Evan Haining.
Thank you, Evan. All right. So when Steve Harvey walked over to continue a round of Family Feud, nobody expected one contestant's answer to capture so much attention. They say the host, Steve Harvey, says women were asked to name something you can't wait to get out of at the end of your day. Once again, women were asked, name something you can't wait to get out of at the end of your day. And now it's time for Kevin to give an answer. Suddenly, Kevin replied, well, you know what? Let's let Kevin answer it for himself. Here, is this going to work for me? Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. We're going to hear it. Hold on. Of course, we got to hear an ad first, but I want to play this anyway. So 9, 8, here, 9. Well, this is really going over well here. This is, yeah, okay. Hold on. Stand by. Here we go. So this was Kevin's answer. Yeah, Kevin said marriage. It's something you can't wait to get out of. Marriage. What do you think, Helen?
That's really funny.
All right, but so let's see what happens. So the bottom line is here. He says, marriage and feels the immediate mix of laughter and backlash surrounding him. Even Steve can't help but freak out over the unexpected Family Feud reply and continues laughing. Once the host of this crowd calms down, Terry's wife jokes, "It's not that funny, not that funny."
Hey,
Yeah.
Eric,
What?
yours was a little hard to hear.
What?
I said yours is a little hard to hear. I do have another copy of it if you'd like for me to play it.
Sure, go ahead.
Kevin talked to 100 women. Name something you can't wait to get out of at the end of your day.
Marriage.
Wow.
All right.
His wife head snaps like Helen when you say a dirty joke.
She got really mad. The wife got really mad. Yeah,
I
Steve
would
Harvey
too.
the wife got really mad. But you know what? It's a question on Family Feud. That's all they could think of. You know,
Yeah, but I know the answer to that. That's so easy. It's
what?
easy.
What?
Do you hear Steve laughing?
A bra. You want to get out of your bra? I know. I get it.
Not that Absolutely. It's not
Yeah.
that funny.
She
I'll
says-
break your neck. It's not that funny. Come here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right.
Wow.
Anyway, who's got news?
Who's got news?
I got a little something here that
Actually, I do.
All right, hold on. Let's hear what Janet's got. What do you got, Janet?
Well, you know me, so I'm so ancient. Okay, I just grabbed this morning, actually. It says that, if I can see it, researchers in West Yarmouth, Mass. remove a human bone Monday from part of a 1717 shipwreck of the Whydah Galley found in 1984. The bone will be tested to see if it belongs to Samuel Black Sam Bellamy, a pirate.
Did you date him?
You weren't supposed
Did you do
My
that?
secret love. He promised me gold, and I'm
Right.
still waiting.
I'm telling you.
He promised you booty.
You get booty. Janet's going to get pirate booty, you know?
Hey,
I'm telling you.
I've got one.
What do you got? I bet you do.
Well, actually, this is for Heather Claire Lander. Heather, pay attention. There's
Hello,
a
Heather
chicken
Claire
shortage.
Lander, and I'm here in England. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hello. There is a chicken shortage in the UK, and what's KFC to do? Kentucky Fried Chicken. 900 Kentucky Fried Chicken outlets are forced to close because
Yep.
the delivery of the sustained fresh products were having a problem. DHL is the deliverer, and KFC has a contract with DHL, and 300 stores are open, but didn't say when the rest of the stores were open. So Heather Claire Lander, if you're looking for some KFC chicken,
You ain't getting it.
good luck. You ain't
Oh
getting
my God,
any.
the chicken place is shut. What will we do?
If you want some of those chicken nuggets
Yeah.
or extra crispy,
Speaking of
could
nuggets,
be a problem.
Speaking of nuggets, have you guys heard about Eric's side?
yeah.
Oh, those
Spe-
poor little nuggets.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see, when you say a funny, everybody laughs. But if I say it, then I'm being
Well, that's
offensive.
because you were talking about
Testicles.
Yeah, and I said nuggets. Nuggets are funnier than testicles. Sorry.
Yeah, all right. So we'll call them nuggets for right now. Yeah.
Oh, your
I'm going-
little
I'm
nuggets.
going to get my little nuggets checked. Yeah.
Oh, God.
As we get older, many of us slow down and retire from working the way we used to. But for Dory Jacobson, getting older has always given her new inspiration. Years ago, she made her living working as a Playboy bunny. And she says, looking back on the iconic job, she said, we were every man's fantasy, kind of a combination of sexy and the girl next door, used to being what she calls the main attraction. Dory hasn't let getting older stop her from doing what she loves, even though the days of the Playboy bunny have more or less died out in the traditional sense. She's still strutting her stuff. She's 83 years old, and she runs a successful fashion blog called Senior Style Bible. She calls herself a quasi-expert on aging stylishly, and uses her blog to show other women how they can do the same. So there you go. So she's 83 years old. She put her bunny ears back on. All right.
You
so,
go, girl.
so
Show 'em what you got.
so,
That's it.
yeah. She's
Okay.
and they say she's not your typical grandmother.
Oh.
So Janet's not a
She's a
typical.
grandma.
I'm a great grandma, honey.
There you go. So
You're a great grandma.
what do you got,
There you
Lisa?
go.
What do you got in Lisa Land?
Yeah, on the heels of Wednesday's mass shooting at South Florida High School that took the lives of 17 adults and children, people across the country, from those who hid in classrooms with the dying to those who never knew them, are demanding change. Dozens of people showed up Monday to Davenport Park in St. Augustine to make their voices heard, not in a politically driven protest, but in a community uniting moment. Molly Shields, a mother of four, organized the Enough is Enough gathering where adults wrote letters to legislators and children and families penned cards of sympathy to the victims of the massacre in Parkland. I'm disgusted at this point, Shields says. I've gone beyond being sad. Now I'm just angry. Shields said she couldn't sleep the night after the school shooting. Her teenage daughter couldn't either, so they decided to take action. I think we have become complacent in hearing about tragic events, and then they kind of dwindle off. It's kind of what you said, Eric. And they happen again, so we need to contact our legislators until change occurs. She says she doesn't care what works, she just wants to see a solution. If you're pro-gun, but if you consider it's a mental health issue, speak up. What are you proposing the change be? If you're anti-gun and you also think it's a mental health issue, what are you doing? I think people who are pointing the fingers, expressing opinions, but they're not backed up with enough action. We need action.
I agree.
Roy Brown, who attended Monday's event, said he feels the same frustration and showed up to write to his legislators for change. More talk, more thoughts and prayers, and nothing is done. It just goes on and on. These kids, in parentheses, in the Parkland shooting, aren't old enough to vote, so I figured the least I could do is I can vote and I can speak for the kids. Children like 12-year-old Emily Albright, who wrote cards for the shooting victims' families to let them know that they are hurting with them. To the students of Stoneman Douglas High School, I am sorry for what has happened to your school. It is devastating, Emily wrote. You have the support of the city of St. Augustine. We are sorry for your loss.
Absolutely.
I'll share the start page. I thought that was, what this mom is doing. It's a start, and it reminds me of you, Eric, what you started too.
Thank you. A lot of stories are coming. A lot of stories are coming out. A 15-year-old Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School student who was shot 5 times during the massacre is credited with saving the lives of at least 20.
Wow.
A fundraising site says Anthony Borges was shot in both legs and his back while attempting to close and lock a classroom door last Wednesday. 17 people were killed. His friend Carlos Rodriguez said on Good Morning America that the two rushed to hide in a nearby classroom when they first heard gunshots. He says no one knew what to do. Here's the thing. Now, this is why I'm bringing this up. He says no one knew what to do. But that Borges took the initiative to just save his other classmates. The bottom line, folks, is I think we're not going to, listen, even if you can march all you want, you can bus loads of students to Washington, D.C., you can do all these things, but it's not going to change things. And it's not going to change things overnight, should I say. And what, this is something that it happened before. It happened last week. It's happened in many, many cities across the country, and you know what? I'm afraid to say this, but it's going to happen again.
Sadly.
And the bottom line is, we need to have. Right now, it's about education. First off, it's about education. It's about educating students, regardless of how old they are, as to what to do in a situation like that. Is educating teachers as to what you listen. You can have armed shooter, you could have active shooter drills all you want, all right? Active shooter drills need to contain gunshots in the hallway, chaos all over the place, maybe some smoke bombs. People need to know what to do and how to react. And jumping out a window is not the answer either. And I said this the other day too. All these schools that are saying that they are, they're okay, they're safe. We're doing everything we can to protect our students. Bullshit, you're not. Because the bottom line is you're not teaching these people, stay out of windows. I said to Linda the other day, there needs to be a safe spot in each classroom. The ROTC student that did his thing down there with the bulletproof sheeting and things that he was able to use, because he was an ROTC student and military-minded, he knew how to react. The first step is to stay calm. And, when you're hearing gunshots, if you listen to the videos of these students, and I'm not blaming them, of course, any student that, all of a sudden they think they're going to be killed is going to react the same way. But the bottom line is there was panic. There was panic. Teachers were killed. It was a mess. It was a disaster. What?
I have some comments from Calamity Gina listening on stream.
Who?
Regarding
I'm sorry,
our
who?
privacy
Who?
discussion that we were having
Who?
earlier.
I'm sorry, who?
You
No, I'm just
stop
kidding.
that.
I'm kidding. I love
She
you,
says,
Gina. I
"Privacy
talked
is
to
an
Gina. the other day.
illusion, the same as freedom. If you give up your privacy for safety, you end up having neither.
Read it again.
Privacy is an illusion, the same as freedom. If you give up your privacy for safety, you end up having neither."
I'm trying to
Do you not think we live in one of the most free countries in the world?
You know what?
I would love to hear what Gina had. Gina, if you want to call in, I would love to hear what you have to say on this topic. I really would. So, Gina, you're welcome. If you could call in, if you want to call in, Gina, of course, of Sunflower Radio, and of course of Cop and Calamity, with that she started her own station, and we support her 100%. Her and Jimmy do the show every day at 3 o'clock on Sunflower. So, Gina, if you want to call in, we'd love to hear what you have to say. I would love to hear
say
what
something
you.
real
Sure,
quick?
go ahead.
I've been wanting to mention this for a while. Everybody is giving an opinion of what we can do to be better as a country when it comes to guns and things like that. But one thing I've noticed is if you want to carry a concealed weapon, the first thing they do is they give you a document to have filled out by your 5 friends to write something nice about you. It does not require a psychological evaluation. You have to wait the 3 or 4 days for a gun, 5 days, I think maybe a week at max for your gun. And as long as you turn up just fine, you can have that gun.
Look, listen,
Here's the thing.
Jay,
and I thought about
can I
this.
just say one thing? People that are doing mass shootings are not applying for gun permits.
Right.
Right, but Eric,
Yeah.
you mentioned that, and I have to tell you, Mr. Cruz purchased his weapon legally.
Yes, he did.
He
Okay.
purchased that weapon legally.
Okay, all right, I see your
And do you
point.
know he had 10 weapons, not
Yep.
just one?
Yep.
10.
Really?
Everybody seems to be so concerned. Oh, gun control. But why don't we control first off the process to get one?
Did you
Because
guys?
If you don't have to go through a psychological evaluation to get one, and if I can give somebody $100 and tell them write something
Yeah.
nice about me, and I'm not forced to face an enemy and say, hey, look, I want to get a gun permit. I need you to write something about me. I'm not forced to confront an old boss who might write something ill will about me. I'm not confronted to talk to a school psychologist about what I was like in school. I'm not confronted to speak to a neurologist, or maybe if I had a past head injury in a high school football game. I'm not asked to speak to these people. It says have 5 people who are not related to you fill out this document. And again, if somebody's hurting that bad, Lisa, I'll give you $200 to write something nice about me. I'll be the nicest man in the world.
There was a story that says mental health experts say a person's history of violent behavior, alcohol and substance abuse, and previous criminal behavior are the pertinent factors to consider, along with easy access to guns. So I find that very interesting that you say that. So I think it's a combination of the two, but
Also,
I
yeah, and I thought about this.
I sincerely feel that every teacher, every nurse, and every student should have someone come in from National Association of Mental Illness, where I believe they'll do it for free, to give you the hidden signs. There are signs that you know through depression, through people get anxious, they get manic. There's signs. I took the course because I did have a family member who had emotional illness, and it brought me to make me realize there's so many signs. Do you know that if a person is smoking pot and is manic depressive or bipolar, that will set them off? Do you know that if someone has a loss of of a family member, a friend, even a pet, that will set them off? They need knowledge is power. We have to get this into the schools. It's got to be mandatory. This way, if a friend is just acting wrong, or something, this is a
yeah,
sign.
but there's more to that. I mean, like the grandmother that just recently turned her granddaughter in.
Yeah.
Just stand by 1 second. We have a caller. Caller, who's calling?
It's Stephanie. Good morning.
Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. How are you? Is that your
Hey,
whole?
happy birthday, Stephanie.
Is that your whole name, Stephanie?
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
guys.
So we call you Stephanie. Good morning now. Are you a sunshine
Sure.
child? Is that what it is?
Oh,
Is this Stephanie? Is this
Absolutely.
is this Stephanie Jay's wife? Stephanie. All right.
Yes.
The love of my life.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Steph, have you told him about us?
Thank you.
I think it's important. I think it's important for one. You're going to have to tell her about us eventually,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
She'll do it on the air when
Oh.
she does.
We are. I'm telling you.
Well, can you wait until after he at least gives me my birthday present?
Yeah, hurry up, Jay. Give her a birthday
Hey, baby,
present.
you come here. I'll give you your birthday present. Hey, Steph, we have a new code. You ready? When you and I want to talk, like we want to do our little, we want to do our talk. If you hear me on the air and I go, that means. All right, so Steph, all right, if you hear, that means here. This is. Hold on, I can't even do it because I'm laughing now. Hold on, this is wait, this is one little. This means I love you, right? Wait, if you hear it twice, this means I need you now. If you hear it 3 times, that means I had an accident. Get me a mop. All right?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. All right. Stephanie, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie.
Happy
birthday to you.
You.
We sound like a combination between Fergie and Jesus.
Happy birthday
Thank you, guys.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Hi, Steph. So what's on your mind? What's going on? What's on your mind, honey?
Nothing. I was gonna call earlier, but I was stuck with a shoplifter for a little bit. So
Ooh, a
I had to
shoplifter.
take care of that first.
You with the bag of M&Ms. Put the M&M down and step back. Yeah. I knew there was a Walmart one time. They had like a Krispy Kreme donut thing, and this guy, he was like, so they're like a whole SWAT team outside.
Oh God.
You, the fat guy, put the donuts down and step back. No, seriously. But anyway, so go ahead. So what were you going to call about? What's
Little
up?
did you know the cop I sent was a stripper.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Really?
God, I hope not. He wasn't a very fit stripper.
I got in trouble. I got in trouble with that when there were 6 cops in the hallway here, and I looked out and the female cop was there. And it was my birthday. I was like, God, I hope you're the stripper. She didn't like that too well.
How did that go?
I went to jail for 37 days.
That didn't go well.
You know what's funny? It's like, it's like we're standing in the room real quick. We're all standing in here going, I don't care who comes to the door. I'm not giving up my friend. Jay's my friend. I'm going to stand by him forever. There's nothing that anybody can do that's going to make me give up Jay. Not going to happen, all right? I'll protect him. I'll stand behind him. And there's just nothing. All of a sudden, there was 6 cops out here. Who's Jay? He's over there. Hold on, Jay, that's for you, Jay. Jay, it's for you. I'll never forget the look on his face. They go, who's Jay? We all look at everybody one shot. Everybody just goes, everybody points to Jay. It's like,
Poor
whoops.
Jay.
Okay, so Stephanie, what's going on in the life of Stephanie?
Not too much, just working.
Yeah. So what did they steal? What did the shoplifter steal?
All kinds of stuff, mostly makeup.
Really?
Makeup, really? You know what I get a kick out of? How do people expect to walk out of a store? This is what I get a kick out of. How do people expect to walk out of a Walmart with a 55-inch television?
Yeah, it's not easy.
You know?
It happens, though. It does happen.
Unbelievable.
Stephanie, you should tell them about the time I chased somebody through the parking lot and got the TV back.
Did you really?
Good for you.
Well, that was.
Yeah.
It was at the old Dover Walmart. Yeah, he saw somebody come out and it still had the what we call Spider Rep, the arming system on it.
Right.
And Jason chased him across the parking lot, got the TV back.
Really?
Took it
I
back
gave it
inside.
back, Jay. You got to tell everybody. I gave it back.
It was just one time.
It was one time, Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Well, Steph, we hope you have a really beautiful birthday, I know,
Thank you, guys.
I know that when you're, when you're home with your husband, you're thinking of me, but that's okay.
She told me
Uh,
she was thinking of me.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what. I got a very special birthday present for you. I am going to send you pictures of my sonogram results.
Oh my God.
All right, so that we can
Agreed.
share in my
Okay.
in my testicle adventures together.
You and your nuggets.
Happy birthday, Stephanie. We
Yes,
love you.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stephanie.
Love you guys.
Happy
We
birthday.
love you. We love
Lisa,
you.
you had something to say. I want to hear what you had to say. Can we backtrack a little bit?
Sure.
Sure.
Backtrack. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, I thought about this yesterday and the day before. Mental health is an issue. Okay.
Mhm.
When you have, there's plenty of people, and you don't know who they are. You
Right.
don't hear about it very often. That go through life fine, and they own guns,
Yeah.
and then you hear a story, and one day they just snapped.
Mm-hmm.
But they had no history of mental health issues. They were fine. They had a family. They went and did their job. They were happy. They went to parties, barbecues, and everything. What about those people? We're pointing at mental health issues, guns, mass shootings, stuff like that. Big issue. I'm not saying it's not there. It's a problem, and something has to be done. But then there's also people that you hear, I can't believe this guy did this. He goes in, he's fine, and then one day, 15
There's
years later
signs.
down the road,
There's
working at the
signs.
same job forever, he just snaps.
There's signs.
What about that?
There's signs.
I got nothing. I don't know what to say because the Sneeds, the people that took Nicholas Cruz in, they said he obeyed their rules. They said he behaved in a perfectly normal manner. And I saw these people on, I guess, Good Morning America. And they look heartbroken and very upset. And they said, and quote, this wasn't the person we knew, not at all. He obeyed the rules and he followed the rules to a T. And they said they're very sorry to the parents of the victims. So, I don't know, Lisa, because the other day we were all talking that how could they not know? How could they not know? But these people, they look like decent people, they look like they tried to do the right thing when this boy lost, both of his parents, his father early on and his mother in November from pneumonia. So, what do you do? Because they said he didn't give any indication that he was had so many issues or so troubled that they knew nothing about his
Yeah, but he was shooting
violent
guns all the time in the
behavior.
backyard.
Hang on, Janet. His violent behavior or his issue with hurting animals or his issues at school, they knew nothing about it. And they also said if they knew that he had all these issues, that they would have never taken him in. So, where do you go from there? What do you do?
Well, where did he have these guns?
They said he had one gun, and that the father, James Sneed, said it's got to be locked up. And James Sneed said he thought he was the only one that had the key.
Yeah.
And apparently Nicholas Cruz had another key.
What was
And,
their relation with Cruz?
Kimberly Sneed was a friend of Cruz's adoptive mom, and the young man was adopted. So,
okay,
who knows? Who knows? I don't know that we're going to get any answers, but.
'Cause you hear about it all the time, and just I
Yep.
feel like this past week it's been mental health. Well, you hear about people all of the time that go through
Yeah.
their entire lives. Now they're adults and they just snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What do
can
you do?
happen.
You know,
I
what
don't
do
know
you,
what the
what do you do? Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
There are signs. That's why everybody
well,
needs.
they
Harry
said
George is.
they
I'm
say
sorry.
they didn't see it.
Yeah, but everybody
Harry-
needs to take that
Harry
course.
George in chat is saying smoking pot sets off a manic depressive. Wrong.
He also sends me a message.
I
How
took
could they not know? Look at me. That's how most people could not know. Most people are only half aware on their best days. And I completely agree with that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
But
like today,
I took that course in NAMI, and that's what they said. It does affect maybe not every person who's got bipolar or manic depressive, but it does set it off. I took that course, or maybe 15 years ago. Things may have changed.
I think
Jace, you were
everybody is
saying-
different.
I was
Jace,
saying,
you
I
were
mean,
saying?
think between the hours of 8 and 3 o'clock, I'm worried about what I have to get done.
Mhm.
You know, if I have to drive somewhere, if I have to go
Mhm.
somewhere, if I have to do something, I'm going, okay, well, this is what I have to do on my mind. This is on my schedule. I have to get it done before this time to get this done on that time.
Mhm.
I am only half aware, and I think that's a great thing that that Harry said. Most
Well,
people
do you
are only
think
half
that?
aware.
Well, do you think sometimes if people are troubled emotionally, that they are willing to admit that, hey, I'm having some issues,
No,
I'm
they
having some
should.
challenges, that I do need help and I do need to talk to somebody?
Mhm.
Because then we're getting back to the issue of mental health, that people don't want to admit that they're unhappy or angry or anxious or any of that stuff, because we look upon that as a weakness
But it's
instead of saying, you know
not.
what, I need some help here. I need to get my head straight, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I don't see it as a weakness. I see it as wanting to improve your life or get better.
Yeah, but people in general,
Yeah.
society,
Only being
they
half
see it as a
aware.
weakness.
I mean, if
Say
you have a
that again,
toothache,
Jace?
if you have a
Only being
toothache,
half aware that that you even have enough courage inside of you to admit the fact
Yeah.
that you have a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
it's got to be. It's got to
the
be
first
made
sign
more
of being
aware.
called out is denial. I'm sorry, Jason, you're an alcoholic. No, I'm not.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
You know,
Mhm.
but
Lisa,
if
you were saying?
I
I'm
sit
sorry,
there
Jim.
and break down and cry and I go, damn it, you know what? You're right. I'm an
Mhm.
alcoholic. I
Mhm.
do whatever. I smoke crack or I do
Yeah.
heroin or whatever.
Mhm.
And you know what? For anybody who might be listening, yeah, go ahead, record that to the police. You know, you might smoke crack, but you have to be self-aware enough to go,
Exactly.
damn, you're
Exactly.
right. I do. I do
Exactly.
have that problem. I do this, and I am ruining my family. And you have to be self-aware enough to be able to say that
I
first.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
some of these mental illnesses are hereditary, you know. I mean, and you know, like I'll give you a real fast example. My one of my family members adopted a young girl from another country, not to be aware that she found out after the fact that they both parents of this child, they were literally in a mental institution, and the girl got pregnant, and they put the child up for adoption. The person that adopted her had no idea. Now the girl's living in a group home. So things need to be made aware of. That's the scary part. People are afraid. You know, when they're afraid, they're only hurting themselves or other people. It's got to be a lot more awareness out there.
I just feel, you know, it's not only these things don't happen only because it's a mental health issue.
No, I agree. And it
People
doesn't
going
happen
through
overnight
life every
either.
day
Yep.
just snap.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
But there is
I
help
agree.
if they want it. There's help. That's the key. There is
Yeah.
help. If
Hey,
that-
Lisa,
Sometimes,
oh, go ahead.
sometimes people don't even realize
Yeah.
that they need the help.
True.
Lisa, I'm going to change gears here for a second because I thought of you when I read this story.
Yeah.
A bride got stuck in an elevator.
Really?
Really? And this
Oh,
was
no.
right before her reception
Oh,
in
my.
Providence, Rhode Island. And Melissa Rogers was 45 minutes late for her
God.
reception. She missed the cocktail hour, but she got out okay, and her dress was intact too. She didn't mess up her dress.
Oh, my
And when
God.
I saw this, I wrote in my notes, "Hey, Lisa." So I thought that
That's
was
really
funny
funny.
for you.
Do you know the elevator at the Hilton, the
Yeah.
company is ThyssenKrupp.
Oh, same
How's-
company.
Oh,
These guys
Jesus.
are everywhere.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take the stairs? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I rode up to the 24th
Saw
floor
that. Yeah.
for fun, and I saw ThyssenKrupp. I was like, ah,
Oh,
and
God.
I had
Those
a scrunchy
people.
face.
Yeah.
And in my hotel was the Sheraton. It was across the street, and I got on the elevator, and it's like it closed, and then it opened real fast, and then
Oh,
it closed
God.
again.
Oh, God.
Are you freaking kidding me? Like,
Well,
no
after,
way.
after that happened to you at the station, I took the stairs for a little while, and then if I don't meet Eric outside, I'm locked out. So I've
Oh.
started taking the elevator again, and I'll tell you, I get in there and I grab the bar, saying, "Okay, just in case it went kaboom, I'm
Yeah.
ready." So, but oh
At
my
least it's
God,
only 2
but-
floors or 3
Yeah, but
floors.
you see, you were so adorable in there. Oh, I'm locked out. I wouldn't be so calm, girlfriend. I'd be like, "Get me the flock out of here."
I would be in the fetal
Right.
position, sucking my thumb. I would be, you know,
but
it would really be, you know, I'm
Thank God
telling
for
you.
cell phones.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah,
Well,
Lisa.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, Eric, if I miss you when you come into the parking lot, it's like, well, I got to take the elevator again. because
And if you don't hear from her, she's in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Really,
we
Press the button.
leaving here on a leaving here on a Friday, and I'm sitting there on a Sunday morning having a cup of coffee, looking at the newspaper, and going, "Wait a minute, why is Helen's car still in the parking lot?"
You open up
Nowhere
the
to be
elevator,
found.
crying my eyes out. That's Lord.
Oh Lord.
Randy Steele says many times
Happy
those who
birthday,
are
Randy, by the
mentally
way.
or emotionally ill, or especially before being diagnosed with
Right.
something, are unaware that they are actually ill. Point
Yeah.
well taken,
True.
Randy. I
Well, that's
agree.
it. If
I
you're
agree.
having a situation, if you're involved in a mental crisis,
Mhm.
you're not sitting there going, "Wow, there's something wrong with me. I think I'll go shoot up a school." You know what I'm saying? These
Very
are people.
true.
These are
Mhm.
people that are
Scary.
angry, and I agree. Here's the thing. It's like.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. I used to go to counseling on a weekly basis. I did, and I wish I still did. I think I actually have to,
good.
my counselor actually moved to another location, and I never went back. But the
She never
bottom,
told you, huh?
no, she quit. She moved to Aruba. So yeah, she couldn't handle. Yeah,
I couldn't
I don't
handle
know. Maybe it was a. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, she probably
I'm
wanted.
sorry,
That's what it
Eric.
was.
It was
She
too
won.
easy.
She was
That
finding
was
me.
it.
She was
That
finding me
was it.
attractive. I don't know.
that was it.
Anyway, so the bottom line is that we're in a situation with. People will say, well, there's too many, we have too many students in the school. We can't help each one of them, So, okay, so there's so many things that have to be discussed and brought up and questions that have
Right.
to be answered. But there's so many privacy laws, if you go around saying, oh, if you put a label on a kid,
Yeah.
here's the thing. If me as a parent, myself as a parent, if my child is doing something wrong, I'm the first one to acknowledge that they're doing something wrong and want to get them help. There's a lot of parents out there that will not do that, to take offense to somebody
Right.
labeling their parents. Here's, the two people that where Cruz was living. They're saying he didn't show any signs of this. That's let me tell you something. All right,
showed it.
don't tell me that, because you know what? He was expelled from school.
Right.
All right, he was on medication. All right,
Right.
supposedly he was diagnosed with having autism. All right, and I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming them, but the bottom line is that if you're saying he didn't show any signs, and you weren't paying enough attention to know how, he has guns. Neighbors talking about him shooting animals, and
Yep.
come on, don't tell me you didn't know
I
anything.
don't believe them. I believe that they're protecting themselves.
Yeah.
That's my gut feeling.
Well, that could
And in a situation like this, you know what? The best thing to do is to come out and be honest and say, you know what?
Totally.
We never. Here's the bottom line. This is what you'll hear from a lot of parents. You'll hear them say, "We never thought it would be our child would do something like that." You know what I'm saying? So, but the bottom line, he did. A high school teacher shot to death while protecting students in last week's school shooting in Parkland once considered that he could die in such violence and gave his fiancée instructions on what to say if it happened.
Oh
Hey,
my
listen, you know how many
God.
times Linda walks out the door in the morning and she says, "Listen, Eric, if
Yeah.
anything happens to me," she says, "if anything happens to me," and she'll tell me, she says that. That's the bottom line. But the thing that's difference between
God
the courts
forbid.
and a school is that my wife has a gun, so there's a
Right.
deterrent there. People know if you're going to walk into the courthouse with a weapon, you're going to get shot. At schools, you're going to walk into a school with a weapon. What's going to happen? All right. Scott Beagle's fiance, Gwen Gosler, she told mourners at his funeral on Sunday that they were watching news coverage of another school shooting when he made this comment. This is what he said: "Promise me that if this ever happens to me, you will tell them the truth. Tell them what a jerk I am. Don't talk about the hero stuff." According to the New York Post account of the service at Temple Beth El in Boca Raton. "Okay, Scott, I did what you asked," she said. "Now I can tell the truth. You are an amazingly special person. You are my first love and my soulmate." All right. So he was a 35-year-old geography teacher and cross-country coach, and he was one of the 17 people that were killed on Valentine's Day. Some students took refuge in his classroom. We heard the other day the video from the young girl talking about what this man did. The killer shot this teacher in the doorway before he could lock the door again. Thank you for bringing and having this amazing person in my life and giving him the power to be stronger than I could have ever been, his fiancée said. His father, Michael, also reflected on his son's heroism during the Sunday service, but noted it just wasn't one moment. "I don't want Scott's memory to be the horrific moment on that afternoon. Scott's heroism was not that instant. His heroism was his entire life." All right, so yeah,
Made-
I'm not
made
going
his
to go on.
mark.
I'm
He
not
made
going to
his
go on
By
with
the
this.
way,
Yeah.
the Florida students are planning a march on Washington
Yes.
on March 24th.
They're on their way to
Uh,
Tallahassee. They're on their way to Tallahassee today, right?
You beat me.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead. Go
you're
ahead.
absolutely right.
Go
No,
ahead.
that's true. That's exactly what they're doing. And on March 24th, as I said, they're going to Washington, and they are planning simultaneous protests all over the country to demand that children and their families become a priority as lawmakers decide what to do with the gun control and stuff like that. And high school student Emma Gonzalez, I'm sure everybody saw that young lady speak.
It's amazing, amazing.
Yes, she was really something. She took the podium and took to task the president and other politicians for accepting political donations from the NRA. She was, she's going to be probably the poster child for this students movement.
She's the hero of the year, I think. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
she's
girl.
she was really something. I thought she was
Just to show you, and she
very, very
she
good.
really was. Just to show you the amount of nonsense that's going on. An Uber Eats driver was on the run Monday after a man who ordered a meal from the online food delivery service was killed in a late-night shooting in Atlanta over the weekend. The 30-year-old man was shot multiple times after exchanging words with the driver in Atlanta's Buckhead neighborhood about 11:30 p.m. The Uber Eats driver then fled in his vehicle, and the wounded man died at a local hospital. So this is what I'm saying. It's not only just schools. It's gun violence. It's gun violence all over the place. What I get, and let me tell you something. What I don't understand. Here's how you can define. Here's how you know if somebody's mentally ill. All right, if they're going to do something, they're going to shoot and kill somebody, and not consider the repercussions of their action. All right, then you're as far as I'm concerned, you're mentally ill. You know, that's the first question I would ask somebody if I was a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and I'm sitting there with a student. I'm going to ask them. I would say point blank to them, if you decided you were going to try to kill someone, would you be concerned about what would happen to you after the fact? You know, because that's, I mean, these people, you know, look at 17 years, oh no, excuse me, he's 19 years old facing the death penalty. At this point, you know, it's not him saying he doesn't want a trial. I guarantee it's his attorney saying, we're not going to win. We're not going to put everybody through this. It's going to be a stage show. We don't want to do that. So, you know.
Well, Eric, hasn't he agreed to plead guilty to take the death penalty off the table, but it's not off the table yet? But
Right.
he's pleaded guilty. Am I not correct?
The question is also, is he going to be found insane? Is it going to be another John Hinckley? I mean, Hinckley only shot the president, you know, with one, you know, that was only one. This is 17 deaths. You know, Florida, let me tell you something. Florida's no joke when it comes to putting people in jail in their criminal justice, I mean, their correctional system.
Yeah, but the
They'll-
death penalty in Florida, he'll be on death row forever. It's not like Texas,
Right.
where they
Yeah.
just like, you're done,
Yep.
you're cooked, you're done, you're
Yep.
finished,
Yep.
type of thing.
Well, you know,
So-
I mean, the
Tragic,
bottom line is,
tragic
regardless
all
of
the way
whether they, I always say this, you know, the death penalty is a way out, as far as I'm concerned. The worst thing you could do to somebody is put them in solitary confinement for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
That is more. That's a death
think
sentence
so.
to begin
Oh,
with. I
sure.
guarantee. I mean, there are literally they have federal prisons that are what's called max joints, okay, which are below ground. All right, so you're not seeing any sunshine. You're not seeing any light. You're put into a solitary confinement. You're not allowed in contact with any human. Your mail you get on a TV screen. You know,
Really?
if you get mail. You know,
Wow.
and basically there's nothing. You are in this one cubicle for the rest of your. Can you imagine that being in a cubicle? This is what I'm saying. People have to think about the repercussions of their actions. You're in a cubicle for the rest of your life. You know, and even even people that are sentenced to life sentences. You know, listen. My family, we had Linda's cousin was murdered here in Smithtown years ago. All right, and the guy that committed the crime, all right, basically. Jimmy was an attorney, and his business partner did something illegal with a deed. All right. So if Jimmy would have went to the authorities and reported this as a, you know, as a forged document, okay, they would have got in trouble. You know, they would have been, you know, he would have got charged with, you know, putting a false document in and forging and all this other nonsense. All right. So maybe. You know, 2 to 4 year sentence, nothing significant. I mean, you know, it would have been it would have been a minor sentence. So instead, what does this guy decide to do? Here's mental illness. I'm gonna have my business partner killed. I'm gonna get 3 guys. I'm gonna go find a stripper. And hire her boyfriends to kill this guy. Okay. So let me ask a question. You don't think you're gonna trust? It's like I say I say this to people all the time too. You're gonna sell drugs to a crackhead. You're gonna sell drugs to people that are gonna. Who's the first person they're going to give up when they get caught? Yeah.
The
These
dealer.
people are not thinking about the repercussions of their actions.
Well,
It's
they
just
don't think they're going to get caught.
that they're not thinking because everybody gets caught.
Yep.
Well,
Everybody gets
Yep.
caught. Everybody gets caught. I don't care who you are, you get caught.
I agree.
Sooner or later, you get caught. So anyway.
all right,
All right.
I have an interesting, changing gears here,
Yep.
an interesting story.
What do you
If
got?
you want to get in shape, you can shock your body into shape.
Excuse me. Round is a shape. Leave me out of this. All
I
right.
love you.
I I love you.
Stop that. Shock therapy is a new group fitness workout that involves electromuscular stimulation.
Ooh, I wonder
To
if to the testicles? Because that could have been interesting in Zwinger Pizzeri.
For you, yes. To take the class, you
Especially
have to
with that
wear
goop on
specifically
my-
woven undergarments, and then you put on a power suit that's loaded with electrodes and wires.
Yeah, that's gonna
The
happen.
class is led by an avatar on screen, but an instructor checks your stance and makes sure you are getting the right amount of shock.
Whoa.
And the creator of Shocks Therapy, Ezra Abalu, I don't know if I said his name correct, says that your 30-minute workout is similar to doing 3 hours worth of exercise with the EMS suits. And the EMS means electromuscular stimulation. How about that, folks? Guess what?
All right, guys, welcome. Hey, everybody, welcome to Eric's electric shock therapy class. All right, let's put the suits on. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit the switch too soon there. Sorry. Whoa, did it again. Sorry about that. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. Ma'am, you in the back there. Put the donut down, honey. Put the donut down. Come on. Honey, I'm going to keep doing this with you. Put the donut down, will you please? Come on now. Oh, my God. Hold on. Oh, my God. I can't turn the damn thing off.
Jace, can't hear you. Can't hear you.
What?
What, Jace?
If I wanted to be in shock therapy, and everybody get your sensor button ready, I would just let my a-hole kids walk around with their socks on the carpet, touching my face constantly.
Yeah, right.
Eddie, what are you doing? Ah, damn it!
Yeah, that hurts so much. Actually, that
I don't
does
even
hurt.
like my face touched.
Yeah.
And kids are like, Eddie, ouch.
Yes, please.
Can you imagine this? All right, so hi and welcome to the Copper Crew Shock Therapy Workout Session. Here we go. We're going to work it out today. All right, all right, everybody got their suits on? Great. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, here we go. Oh, my goodness. Hey, sir, why aren't you breathing? Come on, work it out. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, go ahead.
That's just sick.
Go ahead.
Shock therapy to get in shape.
help me.
Really?
That's what I call love making. Love making with a new woman. Shock therapy. You got what?
Water facts? I would love to hear water facts.
Right before you do that, Eric, I don't even know what you were just playing in the background. What was that?
I don't have the faintest idea.
It was awful. Don't do it again.
No, but you know what you should do if you're gonna be in a situation like that for electric therapy. Would this be appropriate?
It's electric.
Yes, absolutely. It would.
Yeah, but we're on Facebook, so we can do that.
Man.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Okay. go
Water
ahead.
facts of life. Ride
Water.
the water cycle with these fun facts.
Water facts of life. Okay.
Did you know there is what?
No, go ahead.
There is the same amount of water. You're gonna be intrigued. There is the same amount of water on Earth as there was when Earth was formed. The water
Wait a
from your
minute. Wait.
faucet.
Say that again. Say that again. There was what?
There is the same amount of water on Earth as there was when the Earth was formed.
Is that true, Janet?
Wow.
I think I'm figuring that one out. I don't know. Possibly.
Yo,
Listen,
Adam, call me.
water.
Call me, Adam. Let me know how Eve is. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
The water
Yes.
from your faucet could contain molecules that dinosaurs drank.
Ooh.
Is that true, Janet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As we know, water is composed of 2 elements,
Yes.
hydrogen and oxygen.
True, Janet?
Noxygen.
Oh, yeah. Oxygen.
Noxygen. Noxygen. she
Water,
said. Uh-huh.
nearly 90% of the world's water is salty or otherwise undrinkable. Another 2% is locked in ice caps and glaciers.
Mhm.
That
So in other
leaves
words, when you
just 1% of
So-
all humanity's needs.
so is it, what does it give you like a salty taste in your mouth?
What?
Let's talk about the sperm whale.
I know where that's going. I'm just,
God, I'm sorry.
just
Go
going to
ahead.
continue on to the next.
Go ahead.
Water regulates the Earth's temperature. It also regulates the temperature of the human body, carries nutrients and oxygen, cushions joints. As you get older, you might want to listen to this. Cushions joints, protects organs and tissues, and removes waste.
Say that again. What was that?
Water regulates the Earth's temperature. It also regulates the temperature of the human body.
Okay, I heard that.
Carries nutrients and oxygen to cells, cushions your joints, protects organs and tissues, and
Okay.
removes wastes.
All right.
does.
Wow.
75% of the human brain is water, and 75% of living tree is water. A
Okay.
person can live with live about a month without food, but only how long without water? Do you
A
know?
week.
I don't know, but why do I feel like this is an appropriate theme song for Lisa's segment?
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I'm getting to my favorite fact because I find it very,
I
very
want to hear
interesting.
that.
Go ahead.
I want to hear what you said. The last fact.
The last one, oh, you were right, a week without water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where's my favorite one?
Probably the next one. Sorry.
Oh, water is part of a deeply interconnected system. What we pour on the ground ends up in our water, and what we spew into the sky ends up in our water.
Mm-hmm.
What we spew into the sky.
Yeah.
That's what it says. I swear, that's what it says.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Attention all guards. There is a riot in progress. Seal all exits. Attention all guards. There is a riot in progress. Seal all exits.
What is
So
that?
Randy
was
Steele
my
says
sound effect.
almost everyone wants losing weight and getting fit to be as easy as gaining weight and becoming unfit. It isn't. It took a long time to get so unfit and overweight if you are, and it should take a while to get fit and ideal and to an ideal weight.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Whatever.
I feel like I've just tongue-tied myself and like I missed my breakfast.
I was a little
this
upset.
morning.
I couldn't make it. I wanted to go to Randy's birthday party on his boat, but you
I know.
But
I know.
not
I
all of
know,
us. Not all of
right?
us can just pick up and go to Florida anytime we want to.
He should just take Lisa. with him. Oh, look, I got your Lisa. Hold her captive for us.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Yeah, and then Eric would call him and go, Randy, it puts the lotion on his body.
Yeah, it'd be Buffalo Bill. Oh Lord, Buffalo
The
Bill.
average cost for the water supplied in a home
Yeah.
is about $2 for 1,000 gallons, which equals about 5 gallons for a penny.
Hmm.
Really?
Wow, that means nothing to me.
So
Okay,
it's
go
almost
ahead.
free.
Yeah, I'm done. That's all I have. I actually, when I found this, I thought of Jace because of the Mountain Dew.
Ah.
What about it?
No, I
Well,
like.
he's well
Lisa,
hydrated,
I
look at it
gotta
that
tell you,
way.
Lisa, I do like. I like your fun facts that you
Yes,
come up with every
very
day.
much,
You know,
yeah.
so I do.
It's good.
I could come up with fun facts about nuggets.
Yeah, but you could. So I'm looking for this. I had a.
How did this become our... Ooh.
We have a phone call. Let's find out who it is. I'll answer the phone
Hang
first.
on that phone.
Get the phone. Joe's Pizza.
Oh, okay. Hold on, Gina. You're not on the air yet. Hold on one second. Hold on. Now you're on the air, Gina. Hello, Gina. Calamity Gina. Good morning,
Good
Gina.
morning. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Gina. So how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Today's my granddaughter's birthday, and so I'm excited about that. She's 8 years old, and everything is going great. How's everybody down there?
Good.
Today's Steffi's birthday, too.
Yeah.
I had a sonogram.
Oh, happy birthday, Stephanie.
I had a sonogram done on my testicles. Something's
The news of the day.
Was it a boy or a girl?
Some things never change, Gina. Anyway, so G, I mean, you've been hearing what's going on with regards to Parkland shooting, and I know basically your stance with regards to the Second Amendment and things like that. But what do you say? I mean, what do you have to say about the whole situation? What's going on? I mean,
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to let you guys know my opinion. I am a very strong advocate of the Second Amendment. However, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from the Second Amendment lovers, but I don't believe there's any reason that anyone other than a military person or a police officer should have an AK-47. These assault rifles are, the only thing they're made for is to kill people. They are not made for hunting or any kind of sport or any kind of Olympic sport or anything like that, which I am a proponent of keeping, being able to target shoot and skeet shoot and hunt and, be able to defend yourself. However, I think a AK-47 is a little bit of an overkill. Sorry for the pun, but I think that the Brady bill, back when President Reagan was shot, Mr. Brady was shot also, and they had a bill named after him called the Brady Bill, which took assault rifles off of the market and made them illegal. And for some reason, it ran out. The bill ran out, expired, and no one ever decided to reinstitute it. And I know, like I said, a lot of people cling to that right of the Second Amendment to have those kind of rifles. But in my opinion, all they are used for is killing other people. There's not one single thing that I can think of that they could do that would justify the number of people that are getting killed by them.
I agree with you. When Bernie Sanders came out and he said with regards to AR-15s, he said they're not for hunting. They're not for hunting. They're for killing human beings, is what he's saying right now. Did you hear about Did you hear about this baseball team, the 9-year-old baseball team out there in Missouri? They're actually doing a raffle. They're selling raffle tickets, and these are kids that are 9 years old and under. And the raffle tickets are being sold, and the prize is an AR-15. They're selling.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, true story. They're actually, I reported on it yesterday. They're actually the father of one of the assistant coach owns a gun manufacturing company, and he donated the prize, which is an AR-15. So they have 9-year-olds and 7-year-olds selling raffle tickets. Now, this was the contest originally was started prior to the shooting in Parkland. But what happened was after the fact, they were still doing it, and people lashed out to this guy on Facebook and started, with hate. And he said, "Well, I was going to take it off the market," but he said, "But you know what? After all the hate, I'm going to turn this into a positive thing." He said. So my question is, how do you turn that into a positive thing? He said, people don't understand. He says, people in this area look at guns like an AR, like the AK-15 or the AR-15. He says they look at this differently. We look at guns differently here than other people do throughout the country. And if that's the case, then there's got to be, come on now. You just said 17 people. It's crazy. It really is.
I agree with his statement that they do look at guns differently because of the way that I was raised. I was raised by a dairy farmer in upstate New York, and we had guns everywhere. But we respected them. They were in a safe place. We were not allowed to touch them, and if we ever thought of doing that, we would have got excuse the expression, but we would have got our butt kicked.
Yep.
There would have been no, I can do what I want to do. No, my father would have slapped the crap out of us. But, they also have hunter safety courses, and hunting is a huge part of the community and who they are as people. So I do understand that statement. However, an AR-17 or 15 or whatever it is, the assault rifle, like I said, I have not been able to find any kind of sport that it's necessary to have that kind of weapon.
I agree. Helen, comments. What do you want to say, Helen?
I'm right there with Gina. Everything she said, I got nothing. I'm with her.
Yeah.
I'm with her.
Lisa, comments?
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Jay.
Hi, G. Listen, I have always agreed with Gina in her response to gun control and weapons being secured and things like that. I don't have a weapon. I also don't see a need to possess a weapon. Not that being able to do so makes you any better or worse, but I think I have a better way with words. And if not, I'd much rather go to jail for kicking somebody's ass and let's say mutual combat than the fact of questions and concerns over, gun. I think I can find a better way to resolve things without having to have a gun. But I've always agreed with Gina and her opinions on guns.
The only issue, Gina, is you were raised around guns. You're comfortable around guns, and it sounds like obviously nobody in your family had any mental issues or mental challenges. So there lies the rub. That although
Helen,
you're used to having.
I'm glad that you.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I agree with you. I think the larger issue that is often being ignored and we're not providing the funds or the means for people to get the treatment that they seek without any kind of stigma attached to it. But I believe that this is a mental health issue also, because I posted this article that I read. It's a letter to the editor here in Connecticut, and they had said that I set my gun on the porch and I gave it shells, and there was a number of possible victims throughout the day that they could have done, but the gun did not shoot those people.
Right.
You know, didn't shoot anybody. It didn't do anything. Either I own the laziest gun in the world, or guns aren't, you know, people kill people, which I thought was a very clever way of putting it. But back to what I was saying, mental health is the biggest problem facing America today as far as a social issue here in America. And as long as they keep us fighting about minor issues and keep us at each other's throat, the less time we have to actually find common ground and do something that can actually address the issues like mental health, drug addiction, domestic violence. You know, those things are important in today's world, and we as people need to make sure our legislators understand that that's what we find important.
We have a couple of comments from Randy Steele as well as Don Longo. Let me go ahead and read their comments here on Facebook. Randy says, I spent 3 years in Montana never buying meat from a store. I've hunted every creature. It's legal to hunt in the U.S. I also carried an M16 in the Army. I would never need or want an M16, 15, etc. to hunt animals with. They are for killing humans, period, and they have no business in the hands of non-professionals who are currently authorized for military or law enforcement. I rarely comment on such things, but there it is. Don Longo says, everything said about the AR-15 is true. However, there are dozens of other similar weapons that the fire is just as fast and are just as accurate. We can't focus on one particular weapon, and all this debate is great, but legislation takes time, and lots of things that need to be executing methods to keep our kids safe now, no more.
Janet, what do you got to say?
I agree with. I certainly agree with with Calamity there. It's sad, and I keep saying, see something, say something, save our kids, and that's what it comes down to.
True, very true. One of the people here, there's actually an article out there now that I gather, if I'm understanding this correctly, let me just get to it here. I lost my little brother at Sandy Hook, and she talks about the differences. But she says, my brother and his classmates had a right to life. They had a right to safety. My siblings, both of whom were in school that day as the horror unfolded, had a right to grow up with their brother. All of that was violently torn from them, and these basic human rights have been torn from thousands of other Americans in years since. She says the worst part, Congress has actively chosen to do nothing to keep it from happening again, despite overwhelming evidence from other countries that common sense gun safety legislation can and does save lives. In the months after Sandy Hook, Congress voted down a measure that would have expanded background checks for gun buyers, and since then, 1,000 more lives have been cut short due to gun violence. More children have been murdered in their classrooms, including Parkland last week. I, along with the rest of the country, have seen this cycle play out over and over in the media. News breaks of yet another shooting. Politicians offer thoughts and prayers, some telling us that these tragedies shouldn't be politicized or that we shouldn't have a knee-jerk reaction against guns. We're told it's too soon to talk about gun violence when tragically it's much too late, and then we wait until the next one happens and the cycle begins anew. Now, here's the thing. People, listen, this is the Second Amendment. It's a right. People have a right to bear arms, whatever it is. That's fine. That's not what I'm saying. But what we need to do now, my opinion, is that we need to have concealed carry. We need to allow law enforcement officers, retired veterans into the schools, hire them. We need to have training for the children, like my son now. Martin, he never heard a gunshot in a hallway. He wouldn't know which way to run. And you're dealing with little kids. We need to have education. It starts with education, to educate the public as to what to do if you're in an active shooter situation. The Department of Homeland Security themselves have a course. It's free. You can go on the page for, you can get yourself a FEMA number, all right, and you can go on. It's an interactive video course that basically is entitled How to Deal with an Active Shooter. Pay attention. Get your heads out of your cell phones. Pay attention, like Soki Joe says every week. Pay attention to what's going on around you and your surroundings around you, and be aware, be alert, be educated, and be prepared, and That's what we can't change. You're not going to change the gun laws. You're not going to stop. You're not going to change the way people feel as far as the NRA or anything like that. You're not going to take guns out of people's hands. Even if you try to make it legal, you're still going to get mentally ill people that are going to be able to have weapons in their hands and be able to cause something that happened. It's going to happen again. But the thing is, so what do we do? If it's going to happen again, if you know you have an enemy out there that's going to attack you, you prepare for the attack. You prepare. The guy, like the ROTC student, I figured his name right now. He got, he grabbed fire extinguishers. They grabbed wood planks. They did whatever they had to do. Not necessarily that's going to, but here's the thing. If you're in a shooter situation and you're going to die because he's going to shoot you, fight. You're going to do, we got to train people to say, hey, listen, grab whatever you can grab to do whatever you can do. Don't just lay down and die. That's the problem. So the question is not, what can we do? What can we do to take guns out of people's hands? It's what can we do when somebody has a gun in their hand,
or to prevent it.
Well, you know what, Janet? Let me tell you something. You're not going to prevent it. I don't care what laws you change about mental health or what you do, because it's not going to happen overnight. And this is something that we need to change. Something, not even change. Let me change the wording. It needs to be addressed now. So what do we do right now? What can we do right now legally? All right. To put people in a position where they can fight. And that's education and understanding and, and just know, like the grandmother the other day out in California that turned her granddaughter in. I know if I saw one of my kids and I read in their journal, that I'm going to shoot up a school or, whatever like that, listen, and we've had situations within my family where, there've been, questions and I know my kids, right? But there's a lot of parents out there that say, I know my kids, and then something like Victor, like Cruz happens, he shoots and kills 17 people. So the bottom line is maybe we as adults don't always know our kids as well as we want to. Maybe we need to pay, maybe the parents need to pay, like we just said before, maybe the parents need to pay more attention to what's going on in the children's lives, even when we're busy with our own life.
So true.
That's my opinion.
So true. No, I agree.
That's my opinion.
Here we go. Gina, do you have any parting thoughts you want to give us?
Well, I would like to say, Eric, I agree with most of what you said, and I really appreciate the opportunity to voice my opinion. Thank you, guys. And it was nice talking with Lisa and Helen and Mike. Is he there, or Jay?
No.
Mike.
Jay?
Mike. It's early for Mike right now. It's only 9:54. Mike comes in around 9:59.
Okay, all right.
Gina, tell everybody how's Sunflower.
Jay, thank you guys so much,
Joey,
and thank you very much, Eric.
How's Sunflower Radio going? Tell everybody about your show, what you got going on, if you would.
Oh, at Sunflower Radio. Yes, we have sunflowerradio.com. We have the afternoon show with myself and Jimmy, the voice. And we're enjoying it. Our numbers are increasing. We have a lot of fun. It's great music. We joke around with each other and have a great time. And we also have Brother Jimmy's non-denominational gospel hour on Sunday mornings from 8 to 9. And Jimmy is really good at that show. He plays all kinds of great music. And so come and check it out. We're on stream also. You can check us out there. But please go to sunflowerradio.com.
So today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if you go on, if you go on stream, if you go on Facebook, or, look it up. It's called Sunflower Radio, and it's Calamity Gina and, of course, Jimmy. And they do a great job. It's a great show. It's, listen, you're at your computer, like I tell everybody anyway, you're at your computer, you're on your phone, it doesn't matter where you are, we're right there with you, as is Sunflower Radio. So, thank you so much, Gina. We love you.
Thanks,
all right?
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you,
and,
Gina.
have a great day, Cop and crew.
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Oh, and Janet, thank you. I didn't mean to forget you,
No,
Janet.
that's okay.
Yeah, she just falls into the cracks
Yeah,
here. It's all
just,
right, she's
Well,
wherever I fit, I
I'm
fit.
sorry.
love you,
It's
Gina.
okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Gina.
Calamity Gina. All right, let's do this. Helen, parting thoughts, if you would, please. Thanks, Helen.
Things will get better. God
Yeah, they will.
bless.
They
See
will.
you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Lisa, you okay?
Sorry,
there?
guys.
You okay? What are you, naked?
No.
Oh, where is she? There
I'm right
she
here.
is. There she is. What do you got to say, Lee? She'll be in the studio
was-
next Monday. Lisa will be here.
Cool.
Lisa will be here. Whoop, whoop.
Nice.
That means next Sunday we're doing lunch.
Yeah. All right. What do you got, Lisa?
All right. Oh, okay. What do I have? Simple formula for living. Live beneath your means. Return everything you borrow. Stop blaming other people. Admit it when you make a mistake. Give clothes not worn to charity. Do something nice and try not to get caught. Listen more, talk less. Every day, take a 30-minute walk. Strive for excellence, not perfection. Be on time. Don't make excuses. Don't argue. Get organized. Be kind to unkind people. Let someone cut ahead of you in line. Take time to be alone. Cultivate good manners. Be humble. Realize and accept that life is not fair. Know when to keep your mouth shut. Go an entire day without criticizing anyone. Learn from the past. Plan for the future. Live in the present. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff.
You forgot two very important things. Wipe your ass and don't do drugs.
There you go. Janet.
There you go. You can't beat that.
Very good, Lee. Janet. Janet Russell, of course.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
What's going on? So how was it living in the Garden of Eden? Was it good, Janet?
Yeah, except those
Dinosaurs and all that.
snakes. Those snakes
What do you got to
scared
say,
me.
Janet? What's your parting thoughts?
Be there for other people. You know, sometimes you just need to hear a phone call or, you know, just like I love you guys, you know, and I know you've been, you know, there right now. We're going through a little bit of an issue, but it's all going to come, you know, come to fruition, and things are the way they are, and just accept them and go with the flow, because there's always a new beginning. Every day I wake up, I feel like I'm blessed,
Mm-hmm.
and I love you guys.
Every day I wake
We
up.
love
You back.
Every day I feel like I'm blessed too, especially if I wake
Well-
up and I'm alive. You know, I hate to wake up dead. That would ruin my
That-
whole day.
That's the first key.
You know,
is to
ruin my
be
whole
blessed.
day, you
And
know.
remember, God is the driver. We're only the passengers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jay.
Wipe your ass, don't do drugs.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
No,
Spotify,
I gotta keep up- yeah,
Spotify.
I gotta keep-
Go ahead.
we got to keep adding to this list, ladies and gentlemen. We
I
are
would listen.
now on
Wait, I
Well,
did, wait.
look who's here.
I got to say this.
Oh my God, you were right.
9:58.
You
9:58.
were right. You were so right. Eric, you're a psychic.
Yes, I am. Go ahead, Jay. What are you going to say? Go ahead, Jay. We'll get to
If you
Mike.
missed any part of the show, Michael,
Go
I
ahead.
missed the entire show.
He did not just show up.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
No.
Yeah.
Mike.
Eric the psychic.
Eric was right. Eric the psychic. He said
Uh.
that was my job.
All right. At least I had an excuse. No, go ahead, Jay. Jay.
if you missed any part of the show, we have a few more people we have to add to our list. We are on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Podsnack, Mixler, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Facebook Live, Periscope, Instagram, WordPress, Twitch. We also have 92.1 FM Kent, UK. That's iJuice Radio. We are on Great Cloud Radio out of Wilmington, North Carolina, Good Talk Radio out of Mesa, Arizona, as well as Good Music Radio out of Mesa, Arizona. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are also on Spotify. Make sure you open up the Spotify app, search Cop and Crew, and as soon as the episodes get updated and posted there, they will be available in your Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parting thoughts, Mike? Go ahead, Mike.
Tell us what we spoke about
Hello,
today.
Mike.
Well,
Thoughts?
I'm so happy that we're finally on Spotify. You know, it's funny. After President Obama left office,
Yeah.
he was offered a job to be president of Spotify.
Was he? Really?
Yes.
Really?
And obviously, he turned it down. He just needed
Thank
to take a
God.
break at that point. You know.
I mean, I'm afraid if he took the job, somebody get killed.
So tell us what
Anyway,
your favorite
make
subject
a
was
bad
that we
contract.
discussed today.
He didn't even listen to the show. All right. You got parting thoughts?
His favorite subject was parting thoughts.
All right, here we go. Here's how to know if your mission on Earth is finished. If you're alive, it isn't.
Isn't that great?
Say that? All right. So listen, Helen, thank you so much. I love you, Helen. I know we're all a little bit depressed and things with the last things, but you know what? Like you said, Helen, it'll get better. It will get better. So Lisa, I'm sorry that it rained in Myrtle Beach there for you, but I know you're happy to be with your son and your family and Danny and your dog, you know, and I'm looking forward to having you back in New York so we can abuse you in person, you know. So
Thank you for being so patient, too. I
no,
appreciate
I
that.
love you, Lisa. No problem at all.
Love you.
Let's see, Jay. What can I say? I love you, Jay. You know, and
Love you
I got to tell you, it's because of Jay that we're on Spotify. So I applaud Jay for that.
Thank you, Jay.
Jay does a lot, you know, behind the scenes. He does a lot of
job.
great stuff. So
He
that's good.
does, and he does notes, and I did it the other day, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lisa earned a new appreciation
He-
for my note taking.
He definitely is eye candy. You know, he definitely is. You know, so you know.
So that means we could have our party. now that-
Jay's like, I refer to Jay. Jay's like my eye candy. He's my
yeah.
Snickers bar. He's nuts.
Oh, wow.
I just made that up, right?
Hey, how about those nuggets?
Yeah.
I'd rather get Snickers bars and nuts.
Mike,
than have the-
you
about
don't
the
you have
goof
no
on
idea
you.
what you missed this morning,
Oh,
Mike.
my God.
You missed my explanation of my testicle sonogram.
You would have needed to.
All right.
It sounds like I missed a depressing show.
No, it was
No,
really
it was funny.
It was actually great. Have you ever had hot goop shot at your nuts, Mike?
What is this 2.5 men?
And if anybody
so
What?
close.
What?
If anybody is listening and they have a small business and would like to be a part of our small business spotlight, give
Yep.
me a call at 1-800-394-9080, extension 101. And I will help you out with that.
There you go. 28th of this month, we got Joan coming back on. She is the Reiki master.
Joanne.
Joanne. Is it Joanne or Joan? I keep calling her Joan. What is? I can't get anybody.
Reiki.
Dumbass.
I want to. I wonder if I got to tip her. Do you have to tip her after you're done?
It's a Ricky master.
A Ricky.
She's doing a Reiki thing on me.
Cool.
Yeah. Wow.
She's doing it on Lisa. Ooh.
Wow, wow. No, we're looking. I love her. Listen,
sexual harassment.
she promotes the show and us so much, and you know what it is. I love it when there's so many of you out there that do this, and we appreciate it so much. And let me acknowledge you. That you come on, you hear the show once or twice, and you're hooked, and you join us every day. Austin, of course, he was going to call in today. He communicates. He said to me last night, it made me feel good. It was like 11 o'clock last night. I guess whatever reason he's up, maybe he's an alcoholic or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That was a joke. No, seriously.
It's hilarious.
He texted me last night and he said, I can't wait for Cop and Crew to be on in the morning. And, you need to get a life. You really need to get a life. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. I'm just kidding.
Chris
I love
Ferreira
Yeah.
of Handy Fella offered me a job last night.
Oh yeah, he got mad because I didn't like. He said, "What am I so ugly? I don't get a post. I don't get a promo pic." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, did you see him tell me that he was going to get me some knee pads and offer me a job at his company, Deck Suckers?
deck suckers, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what that was. Now I get it.
Deck suckers.
Oh, Lisa.
Oh my goodness.
I read that fast and I was like, he's calling you a deck sucker? I'm like, all right, I don't know.
No.
How about those Mets? Life is what happens.
When
We're
you're
busy
busy
making
making
plans.
other plans.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.